Good evening, everyone. This is BremSter, and welcome to Cagey Constraints. That's the name of the puzzle, and that's basically what we're here to do. Welcome you to a new puzzle pack, Cagey Constraints. Now, this puzzle is by Frapp and BremSter, but a lot more people were involved with the creation of the pack. Now, this is the most belated puzzle pack in probably puzzle pack history. Back in late 2022, I think it was August and October 2022, we released the first two packs in what was going to be a trilogy. The first pack was Skilling Sudoku and the second pack was Cagey Constraints. And this puzzle was supposed to follow by the end of 2022. And it didn't. It is now the end of April 2024, and this pack is just being released. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of why now, but the pack is now being released. A lot of these puzzles have been sitting languishing for 18 months waiting for this to happen, so I'm really glad to finally be getting this pack out. Now, links to the pack will be below. There are 32 puzzles in the pack, and I'll also try and remember to throw a pop-up above. Now, the link is to my Patreon page, but you do not need to be a Patreon supporter of mine in any way in order to get it. You can just go to the page, download the pack, and you are good. If you are a supporter of me on Patreon, either financially or a free member, you can sign up to my Patreon for free, then you will be able to comment on the post and you'll be able to discuss the pack with other people there. Now, the puzzles in the pack, all based around Killer Sudoku, have been created by the following people: Awesome Sauce, BremSter, Chili, Directionary, DT27, GDC, Jeremy Dover, Mavericks JD, Fistamafel, Realm Planer, Riff Clown, Rockrat Zero, and Wisteria Fall. So some amazing setters, some really special names in there, and very, very happy to have everyone who contributed to the pack, not just as a puzzle creator, but as testers, editors, proofreaders. I've had so many people help me with all of these packs. Now, what is the story of this puzzle? With each of these packs, I have created a small puzzle based around box 5, which is uniquely solvable for the opening of for the cover of the pack. And in each case, someone has grabbed that puzzle and has turned it into a full puzzle on a 9x9 grid, not just the small section in the middle. I basically created this for the puzzle, for the opening, for the cover of the pack, and then Frappy, in this case, went around and added to it in order to turn it into a full puzzle. So that's what we've got here. And that's what I'm going to solve to introduce it. Now, before I get onto the puzzle, there is one more thing I wish to say. I have, in order to regain momentum on this, I have recorded solves for all 32 puzzles in the pack. So those videos are now completed. Now, starting in a couple of weeks, I will be releasing one puzzle a day to my channel, free for everyone. So those puzzles will start being released one a day in a couple of weeks. So you will just start seeing these videos released a few hours before my normal video on the channel. One a day, they will just come out until the entire pack is released. However, if you are a paid Patreon supporter of mine, or you are a member of my YouTube channel, so you've actually joined my YouTube channel as a paid member, those videos are available for you now. And if details will be available either on Patreon or in the YouTube community section, depending on where you are a member. But as I said, if you are not one of those people, those paid videos will be starting to come out in a couple of weeks. So as I said, there's no exclusive content for my paid people. They're just getting sneak previews. So let's have a look to, and please comments below if you've got any questions about the pack or anything. But honestly, the best place to talk about the pack would be over on the Patreon page, where people are able to comment on them there. I think you may need to be a free member of my Patreon to comment there, but as I said, it is free to join. Either way, but the other thing is, of course, this pack is available for free. You are welcome to talk about these puzzles in any Sudoku forum that you wish. These puzzles are available for free and you can share them with anyone. I'm not limiting this to my Patreon channel or anything like this. These puzzles are available to be talked about anywhere. But let's have a look at Welcome to Cagey Constraints by Frapp and BremSter. As I said, I created the middle of this puzzle and Frapp then turned it into a 9x9 grid. I have not solved this puzzle and it's been a very long time since I made this middle bit, so I don't remember that at all. It's probably been 3 months since I made a puzzle that I tested in like a few minutes, so we'll see how this goes. So what do we have? We have normal Sudoku rules apply. So in every box, in every row, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. Digits in cages must sum to the number in the top left corner of the cage, and digits may not repeat within cages. Digits placed on purple line, it says the purple line. That's because it was originally created for this. I need to correct the rules. Digits placed on purple lines must be a non-repeating set of consecutive digits in any order. Adjacent digits on green lines must have a difference of at least 5. No two digits on a gold line can be consecutive regardless of their position on a line. So, and digits may not repeat on lines. So any two digits on these gold lines may not be consecutive. So for example, if this was a 2, this couldn't be a 1 or a 3 because those two digits would be consecutive in that case, and that would be broken. And digits on grey lines read the same in either direction. So if the way that works is if this was a 1, a 2, and a 1, that's the same digit either way you read along the line. So that would be a valid way of reading it. They're the rules of the puzzle. Now, one of the things I do want to state is in the pack, we have tried to avoid using this many constraints in a puzzle. In these packs, we do try and keep it down to killer plus something else that will interact with it. But this was the release puzzle, and on this, I tried to make the cover decorative. So there were 4 other constraints. I don't think there's another puzzle in the entire pack that uses 4 other constraints. So this is not indicative of the pack. You will normally find killer and something else or killer on its own. I'm going to restart the puzzle to restart my timer. Let's give this a shot. So I'm going to start with the middle of the grid because I know that is solvable. So we know that an entire box of a Sudoku will contain the digits from 1 to 9. If you add those together, you get 45. So we know that the sum of these digits is 45. Now, I could do math. There's other ways I could start this, but I'm going to start by doing math. 16 plus 12 is 28, plus 6 is 34, plus 8 is 42. So we have to put a 3 in the middle. Okay. Now, 16... there's only one way to make 16. You can do 9 plus 7, but the next option would, if I went down using 9, it would be 8 plus 8, and that doesn't work. So this is 7 plus 9. Okay, so making 12 now, we can't use 9, 3. We could use 8, 4. We can't use 7, 5, and 6, 6 doesn't work. So this is 8, 4. So that forces the 6 because there's only 2 ways of making 6. You can use 1, 5 or 2, 4, and now we can't use 2, 4. So this is 1, 5. And then the 8 is the 2 remaining digits, which is 2 and 6. So that becomes forced. Now, this is a high digit. And on a German whisper line, not only you can never put 5 on a German whisper line, because there's no digit that is 5 away from the 5. So if you went up from 5, you'd hit 10 or higher. And if you went down from 5, you'd hit 0 or lower. So that doesn't work. So every digit on a German whisper line exists either above 5 or below 5. But there is no digit above 5 that is 5 or more away from another digit above 5. So these have to be below 5, and they have to be from 1, 2, 4. Now, is it this Renban? Yeah. If this was a... oh, no, this could be... ooh, I'm not sure, actually. I don't remember this at all. How am I going to solve this? If this was a 1... right, this can't be a 3. If this was a 1, how would this Renban work? This couldn't be a 6 because I couldn't then connect them because, remember, these have to be a run of consecutive digits. Because it'd be 1, 2, 3, which doesn't work. And if it was 1, 6, then this would need to be simultaneously 2, 3, 4, and 5, which it can't be. So this is not a 1. If this is a 2 now, this is a 6, because you can't repeat digits on a Renban. So if this is a 2, this is a 6, and this would have to be 3, 4, and 5. So that's a 4. And if this is 4, 2, this would have to be 3, and that doesn't work. So this is the 6, and that is the 2. This is the 5. Okay, so this is a palindrome. So because this has to read the same in either direction, this has to be a 5 because one end of a palindrome has to be a 5, which makes this a 1 and this a 5. Now, This has to be this Nabner line means that you cannot have consecutive digits anywhere on the line, and 4 is consecutive with 5. So that can't be a 4. That's the 8. That's the 4. This can't be a 4 because it would be consecutive with the 5, and the 2 now makes that the 1. And how do I resolve this? Oh, 4, there's only one digit that is 5 away from 4 on a German whisper. That's the 9, and that's the 7. So that is the original bit that was created by BremSter. Now I need to figure out the bit that was created by Frapp. So where do I go from here? So an 8 cage must have a 1 in it, because if I don't include a 1 in an 8 cage, then it becomes 2, 3, 4 minimum, and that sums to 9. I can't put a 1 in either of those cells, so that's a 1. And these have to sum to 7. Well, they can't be 1. They can't be 1, 6, and they can't be 2, 5. So these are 3 and 4, and the 4 here makes that the 3 and that the 4. Okay. 5 has to be up here. 5 is in one of those two. Right, 5 by Sudoku. I can't put 5 on a German whisper line, so 5 is in one of those two. But if this was a 5, it would reflect to here and see that 5. So that doesn't work. This is the 5. Actually, this quadruple is probably interesting because it's 2, 6, 8, and 9. So that's what's missing from that column. But this, therefore, is 2, 6, 8, or 9, and it can't be 6 or 9. So this can't be 6 or 9. This is 2 or 8, and it can't be 2. So that's 8, which means none of these are 8. Wait, I did that wrong. What did I just do? This can't be 6 or 9, so this can't be 6 or 9. This can't be 2. What did I just do? I'm a doofus sometimes, aren't I? 4 is in one of those two cells by Sudoku. I just got that completely wrong. There's no 9 down here. So this is an even digit, 2, 6, or 8. Maybe it's this. Right, these are the high digits, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that's on a German whisper line. Now that digit would reflect to there, so it can't be 9, because grey line is palindrome. That can't be a 9. So 9 is in one of those two. And that can't be a 9, because if this is a 9, the Renban would become 9, 8, 7, and I can't put 8 into either of those two cells. So if that's a 9, I couldn't put an 8 anyway. So that is not the 9, that is the 9. Now that has to be a low digit, but it could be any low digit, 1, 2, 3, or 4. It can't be 1 because it sees a 1. So that's 2, 3, or 4. This is a high digit, which seems to be able to be 6, 7, 8, or 9. 4 is definitely in one of those two because of these 4s. Okay, this is 6, 7, or 8. So this is 6, 7, or 8. Okay. So this is 6, 7, or 8. So the minimum I can put on this would be 6, 5, 4, but I can't put 5 on this line anywhere. So this can't go up, can't go down. So these are from 6, 7, 8, 9. Because I can't put a 5 anywhere on this line. So they have to go up. There's no 8 in either of those. But the line is either 6, 7, 8 or 7, 8, 9. There must be an 8 on this line somewhere. That's the 8. That's the 2. That's the 2. There's no 2 there. Now the 8 is either 6, 7, 8 or 7, 8, 9. There must be a 7 in one of those two. That's not a great way to mark it. There's no 9 there. Oh, there's no 9 in any of them. This is 6, 7, 8. Because that 9 sees that one and that 9 sees that one. These are different. This is cool. Sorry, this 2 sees these two. This is 6 or 8 now. This is a very, very cool puzzle to open the pack up. The 8, of course, takes 8 out of these. I'm not even focusing on the killer Sudoku. I probably should. So 1 is in one of these. Now this is a low digit. It's 1, 3, or 4. Two is in one of those two by Sudoku. the 18 cage with no 4 in it. This digit is at least 6 because it sees 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And it can't be 6 or 7. So this is 8 or 9 because it sees 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and these are 2 different digits which both see that. So that is 8 or 9. Now that's interesting to me. I don't know why, but it is. So if this is 8, these sum to 10. If this is 9, these sum to 9. So if this is 8, how would these sum to 10? I could use 1 9. I couldn't use 1 9 because that could neither be 1 9. I couldn't use 2 8 because there's a 2 in the column. It could be 3 7. It couldn't be 4 6. So if this is 8, it's 3 7 8. Because this is 3 4 6 or 7. Yeah, this is 3 4 6 7. Interesting. Now if this is 9, these have to sum to 9. I couldn't use 1 8, I couldn't use 2 7, I could use 3 6, and I couldn't use 4 5. So there's always a 3 in this cage. And it's 3 6 7. There's a trick there, I'm sure. What I should be doing is that 5 and that 5 makes that a 5. So 5 is in one of those two, but that 5 looks up saying that's not the 5, that's the 5. 1 is now in one of those two, which puts 1 right there. So there's no 1 here. There's no 8 here. So this is 6, 7, or 9. Because the column is 3, 6, 7, 9, but the 3 must be in the cage, and there must be a 9 up here. So where is 9 in this column? It's in one of those two cells. Now, if that's a 9, that couldn't be an 8, and it'd have to be a 6. Maybe? Okay, what's this 12? Because there has to be a 1 or a 2 or... This can't be 1 and 2, but there must be a 1 or a 2 in here. Because if this is 1, 2, that's a 9, which doesn't work. So let's look at what these are. These are 1, 3, 4, and 8. 1, 3, 4, and 8. Oh, that 6, 7 means that's not an 8 either. That's a 6, 7 pair. So that's a 3. There's no 3 there. That's a 6, 7 pair, and I can take 6, 7 out of there, making that a 3, 4. That's interesting, maybe? But what was I looking at? I was looking at this. This can't be 1, 2. But I can't not put a 1 or a 2 in it. There must be a 1 or a 2 in here. Because if there's no 1 or 2 in here, then the next digits are 6 and 7, and I've already blown the total of the cage. Can I put an 8 in here? Maybe? Five is in one of those two for the column. If 5 is here, this becomes 8. Okay. I can't put 3 on this line, I don't think. So what's this line? 6, 5... I can't put... this is another line that I can't put 5 on. So these are from 6, 7, 8, 9. Because I can't put 5 on this line. There's no 6 here. But there must be a 7 and an 8 on that line. Because it's either 6, 7, 8 or 7, 8, 9. There must be a 7 and an 8 on that line. This is probably easier than I'm making it out to be. I just don't know what it is I'm missing. It's probably something to do with these cages. I did find there was a lot of trend with the testing on these cages for people to use the, it's that digit right there, for people to use the killer calculator a lot, but that's not what's happening here. This is a low digit, so this has to be a high digit and it can't be 6, 7, or 8. So that's the 9, which does allow this to be anything, but it does put 9 up here, which hasn't helped me at all. But that's not a 9. But if this is 7, 8, 9, I can still put 9 up here. Two is on here. This is 2, 3, 4. I cannot put 7 on this Nabner line. Because if I did, it would be consecutive to either the 6 or the 8. But I can't quite see what that is doing. That's a 4, that's a 9. This is a 3, 4 pair. 6, 7. That can't be a 7. There's restrictions on 7. That can't be a 6 or a 7. 6 is in one of those two. But that doesn't seem to be doing anything. It's got to be these killer cages. How do I make 11? Like, there's no 5 in this. But I'm selling this pack really well, aren't I? So this could be 1, 2. It can't be 3. It could be 4. It can't be 5, 6, 7. So it's 1, 2, or 1, 2, 4, or 8 only. If this is 1, these would have to sum to 10. But if this is 8, these would have to sum to 3, and they can't. So it's not 8. This is 1, 2, or 4. If this is 1, if this is 4, let's start with the most stressful one. If this is 4, these have to sum to 7. They couldn't be 1, 6. They couldn't be 3, 4. So they'd be 2, 5, and they can't be. This is not a 4. This is a 1 or a 2. So these have to sum to 9 or 10. Okay. If they're 10, they're not 1. If they couldn't be 1, 9 because the 1 would be there. 2, 8. If this is a 1, it could be 2, 8. It could be 3, 7, or 4, 6 in any order. That doesn't seem to do anything. And if this is 2 and these sum to 9, 1, 8 is not possible. 2, 7 is not possible. But 3, 6 is. So if this is 2, this would be 2, 3, 6. That would be 6. No. My testers said that this would be like a 10-minute solve. My testers underestimated my stupidity. Hang on. No, 3 is in one of those two. What can that be? It can't be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 7, 8, or 9. Because it sees 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is 7, 8, or 9. But it can't be 7 because then it would be consecutive with that. Because you can't repeat digits on a Nabner. So if that was 7, this would be 6, and those would be consecutive. So it couldn't be 7. So this is 8 or 9. If that's 7, that's 9. But if that's 8 or 9, that can't be 8. Because 8 would be consecutive or the same as that. Now, there must be an 8 on that line. If that's an 8, that's an 8. That's okay. If that's a 9, then this is 6, 7, 8. This is 8. This is... this sums to... Oh, hang on. That can't be an 8. I got my math wrong earlier. If this is 8, these sum to 4 and they're 1, 3. There's no 8 there. That's the 8. If this is 1, these sum to 11. Hang on, this is way more restricted. If this is 1, this couldn't be... If this is 1, this could be 9, 2. In fact, 2 is down here somewhere. If this is 1, this could be 9, 2. It couldn't be 8, 3, 7, 4, or 5, 6. So if this is 1, this is 2... No, it can't be 9, 2. This can't be 1 because 9 can't go in there either. 9 is up here. So this can't be a 1. So this is a 2, 3, 4. This is a 1. So this is a 2, and these now have to sum to 9. They're not 1, 8. They're not 2, 7. They're not 4, 5. This is a 3, 6, taking 6 out of there. The 6 looks down, making that the 3 and that the 6. I had missed something. That takes 6 out of there. There's no 3 here. Oh, it's even more obvious than that. Where is 9 in this row? That's been there for ages too. This is a way easier puzzle than I've made it. 9 in this row. Can't go in any of those 3 cells. There's a 9. Can't go in any of those because of the Whisper and the Renban. So it's in one of those 2, but that 9 sees those. So that is a 9. Way easier. These sum to 12, so that's the 6, that's the 7, that's the 6. That takes 6 out of there, puts 6 on here. This is now 6, 7, 8. Way easier than I expected. That makes this the 8, this the 9, which does allow this to be either 1 or 4. Now, 8 means there's no 7 or 9 on this line, but there is no 7 or 9 on this line. But this is a triple. 2, 3, it's not 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But I can't put 7 on the line because it would be consecutive. Oh, there's no 3 down here. So this is 2 and 7, and this is the 3, and this is not the 3. This is way easier than I just made it out. Oh, sorry, everyone. This is a 1-4 pair, and the 4 makes that the 1 and that the 4, which does work for the 4, 9, 4. This 6, of course, makes that 7, which by palindrome makes that 7, which makes that 6, which does allow this to be anything. But this is a 7, 8, 9 triple in the column. But those are 2 different digits, which are 7 and 8. So that can't be a 7 or an 8. That's the 9, that's the 8, that's the 7, that's the 8. The 9 looks across, taking 9 out of there, so that becomes the 9. This is a 3, 4, but I'm not sure how to resolve that yet. But where do I want to look now? This triple maybe, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. Now I can't put 8 on that line and I can't put 6 in that row. So that's the 5. 5 comes out of there, and it's out of there for multiple reasons. And the 6 makes that the 8 and that the 6. Sorry, I got stuck for so long. 2, 7, and 8. The 2 and the 7 in this row make that the 8, and there's no 8 here. The 7 makes that the 2 and that the 7. This row is missing a 1. This row is missing a 4 and an 8. So 4 and 8 go in. The 8 makes that the 4 and that the 8. This box is missing 3 and 5, and I'll use the 5 to make that the 3 and that the 5. Okay. The 4 looks up saying there's no 4 there. I'm going to, I don't know. Okay, so this 12 cage, surely I can do something with that now. Because these are 1, 2, 6, and 7. So there's no 1 or 2 there. In fact, this is, the 6 makes that a 7. That's the 4 for the, no, for the column. So this being a 7 means that these have to sum to 5. So there's no 6 or 7 in there. I told you there had to be a 1, 2 in the cage. That's not wrong, but it's 2, 3 or 1, 4. This is also 1, 2, 3, 4, and it sees 1, 2, 4. That's the 3, that's the 4, that's the 1, that's the 2, that's the 3. There's no 1, 7 there. This is 2, 6. What is this triple? 2, 6, 9? Seems to be. There's no 9 there. There's no 2 or 6 there. That's the 9. So there we go. And the 2 makes that, the 2 in the row makes that the 6 and that the 2. The 1, the 2, and the 7 mean that's the 6, that's the 7, this is the 1. And I'll use that 4 to make that the 3 and that the 4. And that is the correct solution to the puzzle. 23 minutes, 41 seconds. I got a bit stuck, but that happens. Now, one of the things that I did say was if you get stuck on any of the puzzles in the pack, feel free to reach out for help. Now, we are the puzzle was created by the Skunkworks, and you should feel free to join the Skunkworks in order to discuss the pack. Very happy to have you there. The other thing, of course, is you can join the Puzzle Plaza and use the BremSter discussion channel there to talk about the pack. You're welcome to do it there, but or on the Patreon page. Anywhere that you would like to talk about the puzzles, you are welcome to do so. Yeah, I'm very, very glad to be finally getting the puzzles out. And of course, there will be videos coming very soon. I hope you enjoy the pack, everyone. There has been so much work that's gone into this, and I've let so many people down with the delay on the pack. Please, yeah, I really do hope you all enjoy it. So much work has gone into it, and I'm hoping that... yeah, it's all been a payoff, and that the momentum hasn't been completely lost, and that the solvers, all of you, can enjoy it. I'm waffling because finally getting this pack out is incredibly emotional. I have put, as I said, I've recorded 32 videos for it. So I have put dozens and dozens of hours of work into trying to make this pack a good release for everyone. So thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoy everything that's coming. And as always, good luck with your solving.